All right.
I'm sorry about yesterday, but you know how it is.
It's no problem.
Okay.
I reached out to Thomas from Norwegian Rat and
Yeah.
want to make sure that y'all had power.
Yeah. Yeah. We have power still. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Where's the camera? There it is. Okay. Yes.
So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's nice because yeah, it's a long time since I did any interview, so it's yeah, I can be social as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Really do. I mean, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I mean, I said it in the emails, but I got you face to face.
Yeah.
Man, like to say I'm a fan of Dark Throne and a fan of yours is a complete understatement because
Well,
I've
thank you.
I've been listening to y'all guys ever since the internet was a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks. It's nice to hear. I mean, uh, we very much appreciate when people understand what we're doing, and because it's I mean, I don't say we feel weird, but I know we are probably a bit different since we are mixing genres all the time, and there are not any there aren't any rules in Darkthrone, so but we play metal music. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was having a discussion with one of my good friends last night, and we were talking about there's some bands in Louisiana that obviously try to mimic what other bands are doing,
Yeah.
and it's either over polished, it's overproduced,
Mm.
and it sounds like they're trying to be something that they're not, rather than going back to their influences.
Mm. I know what you mean. I think, and I think some of the key elements. Um, I think at least for Dark Zone is to have let's call it an interesting sound production,
Yeah.
because when you want to take um, when you want to to bring the listener into a for example a cold dark area, then you can't have polished sound because
Oh, not at all.
it doesn't work like that. I mean, I've
Absolutely.
said this 1,000 times probably, but I really like to compare um, an album that I like to think of it. If you are going to have a majestic painting in your house, you really like the painting, but there's one thing you have to fix first, and that is to frame it properly. And it's of course very easy to just slap on a straight plastic frame, black, but it's not interesting, is it?
No, not at all.
No, you want to have some exotic woods that has carved out the small details, and that's the same with I see the framing of a painting like the sound of an album.
Yeah.
It has to work together, and yeah, well, that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah. I want to ask one of the main questions I want to ask you, Ted, is how did you learn how to record everything and master it and mix everything in the beginning of those early records where y'all did everything yourself?
Um, I'm thinking about when was that? I think it was late 2004. Even earlier is just a small recorder. But when we started, with the Necro Hell 2, that was a bit more advanced, and I was trying to. I used a lot of time to figuring out what kind of studio equipment we needed and that would suit us best. So I found the thing, and I think what turned me over to that one was, in fact, that where you connect the microphones, there was like a tube preamplifier, so you didn't get an uninteresting, completely uninteresting sound of it. Okay, because a straight sound is very, especially digital, is very boring. So you have to do stuff. Yeah. So well, so it's all about learning. I think I read. I remember back home back then I was trying to figure the studio out and everything, and suddenly the recording was just days away, and I think I just came there, and I think also Fenris actually had bought his a new drum kit, so he got out of the bus with a big card box or something, and put it all together, plug in. It all went very fast. I think on the Cult is Alive, I just had some kind of a beginner's luck or anything because it went down really well. But it got more complicated after a while, and but the point is that studio never failed us anytime. It was always steady to work with. There was nothing happening that were any dramatic. It was all up to me, but I think as the year passed, I was started to be a bit more worried about if something should happen. When we have worked 6 days in the studio, and something has happened to that, I would be like in hell, and I think also Fenris would. So because I was taking the studio in my car, drove over some mountains in winter time, and it was I remember several times I had to charge the car fast into some snow kind of thing just to get through, and it's a lot of potential things that could go wrong. But I think the last one we did on that studio was Old Star. So yeah, I got better at mixing after a while, but it's all about as I said, creating good sounds. And also, I think Darkthrone is much about taking things a bit on the go, trying to work with the coincidences.
Yeah.
And not, be very. I mean, I can remember one time we really had an idea of how we should sound, and I think that was on A Blaze in Northern Sky, and the Full Moon was very kind of pre-decided, kind of in our heads. But I think after that, it was just go with the flow and see what's happening.
Right. Yeah. I remember in another interview, it might have been with Nate Garrett, where you pretty much said that you would embrace those happy accidents
Yes.
in the studio, and just
Yeah.
try not to stray too far away from what was happening.
Yes, exactly. So, but luckily, of course, we have done this for so many years, so we know what doesn't sound good and what's sounding good. So, in our opinion, so yeah, we try to do that, and also when it comes to amplifiers and stuff like that, is when we started recording in Oslo, it was all very. There's so much good gear standing around there, so So we just try out a few things before we start, and yeah, this sounds good.
That's at the Shaka Khan Studios.
Yes.
Yeah. I noticed with definitely with Astro Fortress
Yeah.
and even before that was Epic Hales.
Yeah.
It's what y'all did on that. It just it feels so epic. I mean, that was the appropriate title for that album.
Yeah. I know. I think there's also a bit coincidences about Eternal Hails because I used a stomp box from MI Electronics back then, and it was great. It has this kind of a vintage, a bit more, not this fine knitted fuss, but a bit more, And we had recorded everything except one song, and then Fenris was about to listen to it on headphones, and 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 there was something about that guitar sound that triggers some kind of his kind of tinnitus thing,
Huh?
and he freaked completely out. So we had to actually record the last song with the same sound, and then we took all the guitar tracks. We don't usually don't do this, but we took all the guitar tracks and run it through a tube amp just to get more distortion on it. So yeah, but I like that. The feeling on that album is also very. It's something else, isn't it?
It really is because
Yeah.
I was really curious about what maybe I know you listen to a lot of traditional folk music, Norwegian folk music.
Yeah,
Ted.
I listen to folk music of every country
Oh
almost.
wow.
Yeah.
And but what really I couldn't help with the first single, Hate Cloak.
Yeah.
I got reminded, I just got pushed back into Black Sabbath Mob Rules.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Was
yeah, that's a new one, but
really?
that's yeah, because that's the good thing about music, because people are it's invisible, so you have to interpret the whole thing in your head, and there's a lot of things going on, and there's a long road to you can think about yourself and from where when you were a kid, and all the things that you have listened to up through the years, and you kind of created some kind of a memory bank deep in there, and you interpret music your way, and that's the good thing about music. And
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Yeah, immediately, like as far as the riffs was concerned in Hate Cloak,
yeah.
I just got the feeling of Country Girl.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I was like, wow, man. I was like, they are digging in their bag for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's a good one. I liked it. Yeah, because it's there's I haven't listened to that album since so many years ago, and maybe I should listen to it again to see what we were up to.
Oh,
It's very typical. It's typical for our band is to. I think that has been the case actually ever since Soulside Journey. I mean, we like to. It's some kind of a joke, but it's only 40% joke is that we after Soulside Journey we didn't have any ambitions, and that's actually a bit true, because when we in the 80s we were, of course, we really wanted to release an album. Okay, that's the goal, for a band like us, and when we did that, our goals had been reached, and we kind of just hadn't any ambitions left. So I think also, but I think uh, we when you record after we are done in the studio, we don't really think about that album anymore because we are always thinking ahead and what we should do next. And it's like the album we are working on now. I had an idea on, but it's difficult every time. Every time we start on a new album, it's very difficult because I think this is going to be hard, but it always turn out good in our world anyway. But it's not like and also Fenris and we are making music in very different ways, methods, I should say so. Yeah.
Speaking of the 90s and Soulside Journey, whenever it comes to Fenris's drumming on that particular album, it is so technical. Is there any notion of going back to that particular type of rhythm and or rhythmic patterns, I should say?
I don't know, because I like to say that we haven't closed any doors in music, and so we never know. I mean, everything is possible.
Mm.
It is. It's not in our plan, but it might happen, it might not. It's difficult to say, but we are eager to. I mean, we're going in the studio now in May or June.
Oh wow!
And I think that album will release maybe spring next year or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So that will be a lot of fun. I mean, Fenris once said that because I mean we are into the 80s heavy metal stuff, and he said that we might end up as a pure heavy metal band.
I remember you saying that in a previous interview, and I'm all about it. Again, the same conversation I was having with a good friend of mine last night. It's just, um, you guys in my opinion, y'all have perfected the art of translating everything that's in your memory bank and everything that came from your childhood and teens and maybe even later in your adult lives into song, into an album.
Mm.
And I really appreciate it. I know that some people have probably might have lost fans because of you're not going back to the unholy trinity.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, it's metal freedom is what y'all doing.
Exactly. And we have also I can't remember on which album. I think it was not very long ago, but talking about breaking the chains, and it's no doubt that when we got the Necro Hell 2 studio, that was very. I mean, it changed a lot because the freedom we experienced then was like almost never. It was like we got free of the chains, and we can just meet up and play. Do you have a song? Yes, and I learned the guitar, and it's like that. So I think that's a good way. I mean, we try not to use too long in the studio. I mean, we don't hang around and in studio because it's not our favorite place to be, but we like the creative process in the studio, and I would say the 2 or 3 first days in the studio, it's pretty hard work just to to get on top of what we're doing and be comfortable in the situation. So we work a lot the first days, and then we loosen up a bit and know we have control over the situation.
Yeah. How long roughly y'all spend in the studio?
I would say I think for I mean last album I think we used like uh, I would say maybe 6 7 days maybe in
Oh
studio
wow.
yeah to do all the recording and yeah maximum 8 days so but and some of the things we are I mean as a guitarist I have to you know be be very awake and you know to there are changes and we do things along that are changing things so it's a creative process in studio as well but even though the foundation of the album is there but it's fun. I mean, we're starting to get very good at it, actually, to take things on you know, all the coincidences that can happen. You know, earlier in the days of Necro Hell 2, that it was several of those albums. Fenris didn't know my songs, and I didn't know his songs, and we meet up, and everything, you know, every microphone is put up, everything is ready to record, and then we just have to start rehearsing the song.
And
And when we feel that we might have it now, we just try to record, and you know, and it might happen on the first take, might happen on the third take, but
we have a mutual friend who is texting me right now, and Thomas Erickson.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
He just sent me a chat. Because I told him that we were going to get getting this interview soon.
Okay.
And but he's a great guy, and I want to ask you how did it all go down whenever you lay down vocal tracks with him on his album and the Vatmart track?
Oh yeah, I think that was back at his place some years ago. I think we did. Yeah, we did that. I remember that weekend because after the Saturday, which was you know was a lot of fun, and we wake up and are kind of not in the best shape ever. But then he started to harass me about the podcast
Oh
he's
yeah.
doing, and
Oh wow, that was the same weekend.
yeah. So that was rough, but yeah, it was funny. You know, and it's all good. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm not even a vocalist. I mean, I can even you know I remember very well when in the 80s when Fenris suddenly say one time at rehearsal, he said, "Ted, isn't it better if you do the vocals? It's more natural." And I said, "Yeah, of course." But anyway, so it's been a lot of vocal, and I like it actually to do that. But the whole when you, I mean, the vocals are the last thing you do, so everything is recorded before that. And I mean, I remember I Blaze in Northern Sky as well. I haven't, you know, I haven't. I mean, before I recorded the vocals for Ablaze, I haven't even tried to sing that way because I was you know, came more from the death metal thing and with my vocals. So I didn't try anything out before. I didn't stand in front of my mirror and try to. so so I haven't tried at all. So when we were in the studio and everything was recorded, I told everybody to get out so I can, you know, be alone with the engineer. And, you know, it was very, you know, dim the light in the studio and some candles. And I was like really in the mood. And the last one getting out of the door was Fenris, of course, because he was really, really curious about how this will go down. And
Right, right.
so I remember he was really slow out the door. And as I sang the first line, he heard it. Then I saw his fingers slip the door.
Speaking of your vocals, my all-time favorite in your catalog is Panzerfaust.
Yeah,
And your vocals on that album are some of the most abrasive, aggressive, haunting vocals that's ever been put on vinyl, in my
yes,
opinion. And
that was.
uh and the Fenris commentary on that album, I remember him saying that, he would hear you from the across the way, I guess, in another room, and those vocals were just coming out so fucking loud.
It was very loud.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
my question is just like, how did you approach that album vocally?
I think it was. I didn't think much about it because I wanted that to be like really hard stuff, and I think that's the only album I've done that kind of vocal. It was really it just drained my power because it was really loud. I mean, I was singing my guts out, and the thing is that Fenris's mother was down in the garden because he had this apartment on top of the house, and it was in the middle of the summer, so it was really hot outside. We had to have the window open. So, but it was nice. I mean, Fenris and I was drunk, and we just and after one song was done, we looked out, and there was flowers, and she came up with some waffles or whatever, and it was like. It was a very much. There was a lot of contrast that day,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, clearly.
Yeah, but
After,
it was. I mean, I think Panzerfaust vocals is a different one, but I think that was the whole setting, and I think the idea was to really chunk it out and. Oh, that was. I remember that day very well, very well actually. Even if we had a few beers.
what what type of albums you're listening to lately to keep that inspiration like leading up to going in the studio?
Oh well, it's not. Well, I think the latest album I have on my record player is CC Top, of course, because that's one of my favorite bands. So the '70s CC Top.
Right, right.
There's a big difference between the '70s and the '80s.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
but I've been thinking a lot about that because some of the seven good bands in the '70s were good in the '80s as well. They didn't kind of. I think about Black Sabbath actually, because they didn't do anything um, uh, idiotic with their sound, and I think. But CC Top didn't really, but they became better afterwards. After the '80s were past, CC Top was good to go. And I listened to their new. I think it was just before the bassist died. They recorded live the album. I think it's called Raw or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic
That's
album.
that's a really that's a brutal sound.
Yeah. Uh, I'm all about I'm a kid of the 80s. My dad like had
Mm.
a lot of influence on me, and some of the bands that were really popular with you coming up, he was into like the Kisses of the world and Black Sabbath and all that. I mean, that's where I got a lot of my influence, and I'm just curious to know which Kiss album you gravitated towards personally.
Well, I think the first album I bought for my own money was Kiss Alive. But I think, funny you should ask that because some almost, yeah, some 10 years ago, I actually, because Kiss, I don't play much Kiss usually, but 10 years ago, I had this, why did I like Kiss in the early days when I was young? And I listened to every album of Kiss and trying to figure it out what I would like now. So now I gravitate towards the first album and also Creatures of the Night and The Elder actually. I mean, The Elder has couple of 2 or 3 songs that are incredibly good, and so yeah. But Kiss is always it's a winner anyway.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And fast forward to Astral Fortress and
Yeah.
uh, uh the riffs of that song. It's I remember Fenrir saying that y'all took a little bit of quintessence for that particular track, um,
Oh yeah.
or at least maybe you did because I think it was one of the main songs that you had wrote, correct?
I can't remember.
Okay. But was the what type of folk music you were listening to or 70s rock at the time, um, writing that particular riff, if you remember?
Do you remember which song it was?
Oh, Caravan of Broken Ghosts. Sorry. It's not because to me, I don't know if I'm off base here, but it gives me that Wishbone Ash, the
Oh yeah.
70s. Yeah, I mean, again, I could be completely off base.
I'm just trying to get a little just oh there it is. Caravan. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I wrote that song. Yes, that's right. So yeah, well, I think it is the. I just listened to the acoustic guitar, and I think actually, I think it might have been Battery.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because but it's also you can hear the folk thing
Mhm.
there as well. So that I mean, when it comes to let's call it black metal, I don't know what it's called, but when it comes to Battery, for me, I think Battery is more than music. It's much more. So for me, Battery is a feeling. It's like
Absolutely.
so yeah, it might have been Battery. Yeah, I mean, I made some riff in the past as well that I listened to afterwards. I think, uh, I might actually have been inspired by Flag of Hate with Creator, like because I listened to some of the riffs but it's nothing that I do on purpose. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's inspired by unconsciously.
Yeah, definitely. You can hear that, and that's one thing that about Dark Throne's music that I keep going back to because I with every release
Yeah,
that y'all put out, I'm just real curious of the direction and what inspires you guys
yeah.
because it's like I said, it's complete freedom what y'all doing, and
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of it. We don't play any games here. I mean, okay, we took the hard. I mean, we could. There's several paths we could take earlier. About the live playing, not playing live. We could be more of a profiled band. But I think we went the hard way, the hardest route, and that was to trying to keep a low profile, but push the music in front of us and let people, you know, discover it by themselves. I mean, it's nothing like we don't go out in the media or anything and trying to do something rash or we don't seek attention that way. But I think of course every band hopes that your music is getting attention. I mean that's the main thing. So but we took the long route, like I like to say that for almost 40 years we had where's the camera? There we had like this kind of for
Yeah.
40 years, not
Yeah.
like this suddenly, and it's just like a slow steady climb. And I think that's what I don't know, we didn't discuss that earlier. I mean, it took even a couple of years, at almost 2 years after A Blaze in Northern Sky, for us to understand the impact that album made. I mean, because we were busy doing other things, and back then there wasn't really. I don't read any magazines either, so yeah.
As far as paying attention to any of what your contemporaries are doing, do you often go to shows out there in Norway? Anyone that appreciate
I
out there?
I don't go to shows. Actually, I saw if there's something special. I mean, I usually don't go to metal shows, but when the American band, the Residents, were playing not far away from here, then I went there, and that was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, I like the Residents, and so it's weird, but it's great. And so yeah, I also saw the Norwegian band Motorcycle.
Yeah.
They played not far away from here as well. So yeah.
Oh, speaking of that's a great segue because I know you like to ride motorcycles and you've been into motocross sports in your
Yeah,
youth. Is that
yeah.
something you still keep up with?
No, well, I haven't drove any motorcycles in a few years now, but I mean, every spring when I heard the first motorcycles outside, I want to buy a new one, but I'm busy, and so yeah, motorcycle war. I told Bent from Motorcycle that I think Motorcycle is the band we are probably. I feel we have a lot of similarities, not in the music we play, but in doing whatever you want to do, kind of thing. And they also have a long-standing career. They released a lot of albums, so and they don't really flash about and trying to get attention. They are touring all the time, a lot at least. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise, I think I don't want to see that I don't want to say that we feel alienated in the Norwegian metal scene, but we don't have any contact. At least I don't. So, and I don't think Fenris had much contact with them either. So, but it's a good thing to being in Norway. You can, keep for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I've been to Norway now 5 times. It'll make my sixth time going in April.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna head out to Halden to meet Thomas again
Thomas. Yeah, okay.
and uh and there's just something about the place that I really appreciate. I mean, I've always been into Norway since I was a kid.
Yeah,
And then when I discovered Darkthrone and as a teenager, I was like, man, I gotta go back. I gotta go out there.
yeah,
But I say that it's because the country has put out some of the best music. I mean, any black metal fan could, you
I would
know,
agree actually, because I mean, we have to remember there's a lot of really good Swedish bands as well. But I think when you think about Norway, low population. And I think back in the in the early 90s and late 80s, there were a lot of bands starting to come up, and everyone had their own take on things. And I think that's very interesting, and it turned out to be really good. I mean, there was a lot of strong-willed people gathering around their own projects, and I think that's there's been a lot of good bands in Norway.
Yeah. And are there, I mean, I'm sure you do, but I'm just real, my own curiosity is just, do you still keep up with the friends that you had in Oslo back when in the early 90s, whenever, when Norwegian black metal was at its peak?
Yeah, but the thing is that I moved away from Oslo. Oslo is my hometown,
Yeah.
and I moved away from Oslo in late '91. So the answer is probably I haven't much contact with the people back then. It's I lost a lot of contacts over the years, and I think I remember when I turned 30, I was like really cutting down on my on my list of people, and now it's even worse. It's but now it's okay. I mean, so yeah, I moved from Oslo before all the stuff before black metal got popular. And I mean, I remember Darkthrone and Mayhem were playing at this very small scene in Oslo. I think that had to be in 1990, and it was 30 people there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't huge back then.
Yeah. And then like now, whenever, I've only been to the Inferno Festival.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've been to one show that was attached to the fest at
yeah.
Niven Bar, and I just can't imagine what those early days were like when you had like maybe 30 people in a venue just like congregating and just watching all this go down.
I know. It was, but for us, it was like I remember Euronymous was very. He had always, of course, very grand plans. So I remember when we were supposed to, when we were to play at that scene. It was like a small scene in the middle of Oslo, and he wanted to rent a limousine to get there because it was, and I think I just, why can't we just take the tram? You know, it might be a better idea. So yeah.
A bunch of black metal guys and corpse paint coming out of a
Yeah, yeah,
limousine. That's I mean that's taking a page from Kiss right there.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it was a very strange time. I mean, it was fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun, of course, and in everything, and like one thing it's like when we released Soulside Journey, we had this very small release party in Fenris's apartment, and Euronymous was there, Hellhammer was there, and Dead was there, or Pelle,
Yeah.
and also the bassist Stian, and back then, and it was a hilarious, funny evening actually. So yeah, it's like it's memories like this that it was good times, definitely, definitely.
It definitely sounds like great times. I'm just curious, what was Pella like?
Oh, he was a really nice guy. I mean, he was I mean, it wasn't he really had to be in the mood for some talking. I mean, we were just like I mean, we were just drinking. I think you know, Darkthrone is about heavy metal, hardcore, punk, black metal. We are everything. So we were more like punk dudes back then. We didn't give a shit about anything. But one thing we understood was like um, if Pelle was not in the mood to talk, he didn't talk. So yeah, but it's okay. He sat with us anyway. But sometimes he liked to talk about things, and so that was nice. He's really really nice guy.
Yeah. And I really appreciate what you just said right there. The fact that y'all was hardcore punk and everything in between.
Yeah,
And that clearly shows with the whole discography of Darkthrone.
yeah,
And again, y'all do what y'all want, and y'all can give zero fucks of
yeah,
who says what about it.
yeah. It doesn't matter because in the end, it's like I have since November 2024. I've been working together with another dude in starting a new band, and we are so in those. That's over a year ago, of course. So we managed to, put together 5 songs. We used a lot of time. It's different. I never made music like that in that fashion before, and so it's good for me to know that the creativity doesn't really stop. I mean, there's a lot of things to discover all the time, and you used to think that about Darkthrone as well. But I think because we have no limits in Darkthrone, I think that's why we are, making a lot of music, and also we don't waste time on live playing because we know that when we eventually are finished, the things that will be behind us is the albums, exactly.
Right.
And I think both Fenris and I know that if you think of a running track, the oval running track, we are we are starting to get past the last bend, and we know it will eventually be over, but we don't know when. It could be anytime, but it's as long as we have this. It's all we think about. I'm thinking a lot of. I mean, every day I'm thinking about the band. I've been doing that since I started there, and because it's now it's a big part of your life, and the things that keep you sane.
Yeah.
This. So we nurture the band like it was some kind of a thing that has to be nurtured.
Yeah. Like a child.
Yeah, like a delicate flower.
Yeah, and you see that answers my question right there. I wrote down these notes, and I was like thinking to myself, after 36 years of making music with Darth, I'm like, what keeps the inspiration intact? And you said it right there. It's
Yeah,
become part of your life. It's an everyday thing that you think about.
yeah,
Music, and you nurture those riffs, you nurture the music, and
yeah,
that's
yeah. It's. I mean, it's fascinating how different lives Fenris and me have lived privately. And but one thing we are definitely on board with is the band. I mean, it's everything basically because yeah. I said it. I said it, and
yeah.
you said it.
Yeah. One of the I think the most badass things I've ever seen on YouTube is is when I saw you performing with Triptychon.
Yeah,
And as a fan, of both you and Tom G. Warrior, I just gotta know, like, how excited were you to be on stage with that man?
Well, do you think about when I performed with Triptychon? Yeah, that was in the Netherlands, I think, because there was an eruption of volcanoes in on Iceland, so the planes couldn't take off in Europe. So and we had we should play. I mean, Sarke was playing a festival in Netherlands, so they rented this like huge bus thing. So so when I came to Netherlands, I almost couldn't stand on solid ground because you have been floating on a bus for like too long. And Tom asked me if I wanted to play there or sing with them, and it was great. I mean, I was but one thing I remember better was when Sarki played at Wacken Festival. We flew Tom in for performing vocals for us because we used to play the Dethroned Emperor live with Sarki. And I think that was yeah, that was one of my favorite moments actually, because we talked to Tom and he said, yeah, how do you play the song? And we said, we play it exactly like it is on the album. And he went, okay. and and so it was amazing. And when I started the first riff there and Tom get on the stage, that was that was something, because I'm a fan of him too.
Yeah. I
So
I had a chance meeting the first time I went to Nice Blood Records.
yeah,
I took a picture with him and Anders
yeah,
on like if I would have been 5 minutes late, I wouldn't have caught them both just looking through the old Slayer section.
okay.
And I had to approach him. I was said, sir, if I don't take this opportunity to meet you right now, take a picture with you, I'll never get it.
Oh, yeah. Now he's a great guy, and I think also yeah, I met some of the band members, and I met the bassist of Celtic Frost. That was the first time I met Tom. Actually, I can't remember where it. I think maybe it was in Bergen or something.
Oh.
But yeah, it's good to have met him, and you know,
How did you speaking of Starkey, how do you like traveling with the band, from country to country?
I hate it.
Do you?
Yeah, and I mean, some years ago, I can't remember, maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm not flying anymore. It's over. So yeah, it's not to be on a plane. It's not my kind of life.
Yeah, neither me.
I don't think anyone likes to fly actually, but well, some do it, I guess. But for me, it's over. And but yeah, maybe when I'm in my 60s, I can fly.
I
There's nothing more to lose.
There you go. Uh, you mentioned before in another interview that you was also involved with the 80s and 90s tape trading.
Yes.
And which bands probably in more so in a death metal scene, because y'all Suicide Journey was primarily death metal. Which
Mm.
death metal bands from the States really grabbed your attention?
First,
Yes, sir.
definitely Autopsy, because well, maybe the first Death album, and also the Necrophagia, was also absolutely insanely good album. And I remember the first Death album as well, and I think not long after that released in Europe, Scream Bloody Gore, there were some rumors. I don't know who got the rumor, but it's probably not me. That the drummer of Death has left the band and started his new band, and we were like, whoa, whoa, what's that, you know? And one day the Critical Madness demo were there, and I actually played that tape so much that it actually fall apart physically.
Shit.
Yeah. So Autopsy for me is like it's something special, and we were very eager to hear their first debut album, and it was a great album. And the second album got the English treatment, and what I mean by that is that the sound was more British. It was like a bit more, you know, gray and sad. It was like, and Hammy told me once that they used some of the money on other things than the studio. But anyway, I think most British bands sounded like, you know, if you take the first Paradise Lost album as well, it has this British dreadness over it, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
So when Autopsy released their second album, Mental Funeral, it's a stunning album.
Was that a particular sound that y'all were trying to capture with Eternal Hails?
No, no, not really, because I think Eternal Hails is again just a lot of coincidences. So I don't know. I think we just when we started, we are going to the same studio now, by the way, and I think we will do some changes to some of the drum sounds, because it's easy to trying to trying to perfect the drum sound is very, like, you know, it's natural to do so. But I think we are going to have at least a bit different approach to the drum sound now, with a bit more mids, and also in the bass drum especially. But we'll see how it turns out. We don't know. Yeah. And I don't know how the album turns out either. Actually, my plan was to have a bit shorter songs, and a bit faster, a bit more aggressive things. So Fenris has to work with something here, I know. And also, I just made a very, very heavy metal riff. It's so heavy metal, actually, I want to record it and send it to Gilbert, and just to hear what he has to say about it, because but I mean, he's the one, gearing me up towards the heavy metal things, since we can, according to him, end up as a pure heavy metal band. So
yeah. And it just seems like there's at least for the time being, there's no sight of losing that particular direction.
What?
I was just saying, it seems like for the time being, that like y'all don't want to lose that direction.
No, I think it all comes together, and I think even though people don't really think about it, you have to remember that A Blaze in Northern Sky is also a mixed genre album, but it's a bit more not so obvious because of the sound production, and also the cover art and pictures and everything. So but A Blaze is so, since A Blaze, okay, Under Full Moon was not, that was deliberately very cold black metal stuff. So we were a trio back then, so that was a new experience. But it's funny to think about that now, for almost yeah, over 30 years ago, we have been a two-piece band, so that's insane.
Yeah. And the longevity of you two guys, I mean, it's incredible. And
It's incredible. It's not if it's now the last 5 years. Yeah, sometimes I think about all the times and that has passed with the band and all the things you have experienced since I joined the band. It's so there's yeah, that's it, definitely.
but how, I mean, I'm just curious, like how often do y'all speak as far as the recording process? Leading up to the recording
Oh
studio.
well, we have some if it's something. I mean, Fenris can call me if he has something either very important to say or something very funny to say. And but other than that, I mean, we don't call each other much, but we have frequently text messaging and stuff. So when it comes to springtime and summer, it's a lot of text about gardening and stuff like that. So
Interesting. That's wild, man.
yeah,
Uh, Getting to know your the inner workings of Darkthrone is completely privileged. Thank you.
yeah. It was funny last autumn, because uh, it's not interesting to tell you why, but I had to plant a tree in my garden, and Fenris didn't really follow that up. How is it going with the tree? And like, that's a
What kind of tree you planting?
now it's a birch, because the birches are really taking up a lot of moist from the ground. Yeah, so that's why. So yeah. Let's see in the springtime how it's doing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I had something that came to mind. I never asked you. Do you have your own uh recording studio in your house that you just go to
Well,
private?
no, the recording studio that we used last time on the Old Star is in my house, but I have no. It's not like it's not. I do not have a studio kind of thing. Uh, I have some. I have a room, with all the vinyls and guitars and everything. So I'm there, like a lot of the time working on stuff. Last couple of years I bought a couple of synthesizers. I'm trying to, the last 5 years I've been trying to figure out a lot of things about synthesizers and how they work. And so yeah, it's just nerdy stuff. But I think since one of the songs on the new album will be a bit different, it will be a short kind of a instrumental song, which are, I won't say anymore. But it's yeah,
That's
we have
fair.
plans.
Yeah, I'm the same way. With the room I'm in right now is where I make all my noise and record, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. And
Yes.
it's a great place of solitude to just
Absolutely.
get in that
It's
mindset.
I like that. I mean, so I'm looking at the wall, and there is the what do you call it? Yeah, the Goat Lord album. We
Yes.
did a competition about cover artwork, and there was this woman in Oslo called Linda and I have the original. She was drawing with coal, and it was really nice. I'm trying to show you that my back is hurting because
Don't hurt your back.
Yeah, well, I'm never have any problem with that, but obviously a couple of days ago it cracked. So it's probably too dark to see.
Yeah, it's blurry.
No?
No, you probably get real close up on it or de-blur the background. I would think.
Ah, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, that didn't work, but that's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you trying.
I tried. I could turn off the light, but then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought about taking out my light for this interview, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
decided not to for whatever
we
reason.
we like the darkness and evil shit.
And you know what else? It's a record day today in South Louisiana.
Is
We
it
we got 6 inches of snow today.
really?
I'm not kidding you. Like it's a monumental day all around for me, the residents here, and the podcast because you're on it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well, that's nice. There you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But it's normal to have snow at your place, I guess.
no, this is
Oh, isn't it? Okay.
very rare, very
Ah, okay.
rare. So, like I said, very momentous day.
Yeah.
I get to do this with you. I mean, I think I've measured 6.5 inches of snow
Okay.
in Louisiana. I think this is the last time it snowed like this was probably 1895.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Mhm.
The perfect when you have all this snow now, I would recommend one of my favorite winter albums. I have winter and summer albums
Okay.
very often,
Okay.
and my favorite winter album should be Under the Sign of a Black Mark with Bathory.
Oh, I'm 100%.
When the snow is thick around your house, put on that, and it will do the trick.
I will definitely do that
Yeah.
as soon as we break from here. But I don't. The conversation is going too damn well. Just stop what I'm doing to go listen to Bathory right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's so many things that I was really curious about as far as your musical training and musical upbringing. I know
Yeah.
your parents had pushed a lot of classical music,
Yes.
and I'm just curious of what composers that you gravitated towards.
Uh, I mean, a lot of them, I would say. Uh, you know, Johann Sebastian Bach, is one, and also Tchaikovsky. The bit more, the harder stuff. But you also have a Norwegian composer, Edvard Grieg as well, which is very like, I think Grieg is it reminds me, it's like when I listen to Grieg, I see Norway like in my head.
Yeah.
It's something about it. Yeah, they found out when I was just a small kid that because I was very active when I was a child, and to calm me down and for them to get some peace, they found out that they could just put on a classical record and put on some headphones, and I was, sitting there and staring for hours. So I still listen to classical music, and it's something. It's something basic about it, and yeah.
You hear my dog. My dog is barking like a madman. If you hear my
Okay.
dog, he's barking like a madman right now because of all the snow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. He haven't seen that before.
No, they haven't. Clearly not. Um,
uh,
so, as far as once the classical music came into your life, Um, well, how soon did guitar come after?
Oh, that was some. I learned to play drums first.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but I think guitar was coming like in when I was, I don't know, 13 years old, 12, something like that. So that was a lot of year after that. But yeah, so but I'm I'm saying that I am today I'm very happy and settled with the fact that I'm not a musician that has gone to several schools to understand music because uh, I mean I really thought about this because if it were like that that I could everything about every scale and how to whatever
Yeah.
I would encounter during my time in Darkthrone I would encounter several times things that I probably wouldn't dare recording because it was not the right thing to do, like because when you don't understand, I mean, I've been sitting down in a basement and I'm looking at my guitars and I say, I really don't understand what this is really. Listen, I've been playing this for so many years and I still don't get it. But I can play guitar, but it's like to me the guitar is still a strange instrument.
Yeah, I really it's another thing I really appreciate what you just said right there because I've been playing guitar now. I was a late bloomer and
Yeah,
started playing around when I was 38. I'm 44 now.
yeah,
Turning I'm a fellow Pisces man. I turned 45 in late February.
yeah, yeah.
And I just look at it and I'm like, I have zero clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know.
Zero, you
It's the
know.
same with me. It's exactly the same. I don't know. Um, I know that for sure that I mean I'm so exhausted. I mean after we recorded the Eternal Hails, I was completely exhausted about playing guitar. So I didn't play guitar. I didn't pick up my guitar for over a year afterwards.
Wow.
But now, since we were in studio last time, I've been playing a lot of guitar, and so now it's a bit different. So I'm at least I feel prepared for for going to studio once again. So yeah, but it's I don't. It's a nice instrument, but for me, it's like I have never really grown attached to any instrument that much. I see it as a tool, and when I play one of my guitars, I know I like them because I like all my guitars.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
ones the ones I don't like, I've been get rid of many years ago.
how many is in your collection, if you don't mind my asking?
It's not so many now. I think it's maybe four, five guitars, maybe. Yeah. So, but that's the thing. So, are you out shoveling snow now?
Not me. I'm gonna
Oh,
let I'm gonna let that shit melt.
okay.
Because
That's it.
I think you want to see it?
The 6 inches of snow. That's something.
Yeah, yeah. It's my dogs love it though.
Yeah.
They're some Siberian Huskies.
Okay. Yeah.
So they are bred for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
They just want to stay outside and get
that's what they want to
covered
do.
with snow.
Yeah, we leave the patio door open for them, and they come and go as they want, shake off all
Yeah.
the snow. So they're they're having that blast like I am right now. And that's
Yeah. Siberian Huskies. That's. Is that a kind of a demanding
Oh yeah.
dudes?
Yeah, they really are. A lot of
Yeah.
upkeep, a lot of, we probably vacuum the house maybe 3 or 4 times
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
day.
But mentally, are they really want to go out there
Yeah.
and
They
do stuff?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the same mentality that I have. I think that's I just want to be out doing things,
Yeah,
you know, and exploring. I mean, they are absolutely escape artists.
yeah. I would I would guess so.
I can't
Yeah,
tell you how many times we had one that either broke off our leash while we are walking them, or
yeah.
just saw an opportunity and just dart out the front door.
Oh, yeah. That's companionship for life. The dogs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was really nice talking to you, Mo.
It was
Shall I
really
call you Mo?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes. Mo is your actual name.
No, it's actually short for Maurice.
Maurice? Okay.
Got a very French name, Maurice Anthony Soleil.
Ah, okay. Maurice. So Ted is then short for I don't know. It wasn't allowed to be named only Ted back in 1972 anyway,
Really?
because they saw it as a short for Edward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but here I am
Yep.
with this stupid name.
Nah. It's
It's a short. It's over before you have said it.
yeah, same here,
Yeah.
Mo, and but the thing is my dad always went by my first name because he's the senior, Maurice Senior.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a
Okay.
and I'm a junior, so everyone, all the family members was like they would refer to me as Little Mo. So I was
Live. Okay.
So I was always Little Mo, and then like I dropped the little. Well, at least I did.
Yeah.
My grandparents and uncles and aunts, they were like they still refer to me as Little Mo.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
despite me being 44 years old.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, man.
Okay.
Uh, is there any I want to like what are your I guess what do you do for the guitar to keep your like the dexterity and your chops up, I should say. I mean, you play every day?
Yes, I play every day. Now I do. There's a lot to think about, and my new band is. I mean, we got hold of an excellent drummer from Trondheim in Norway,
Oh wow.
and he's coming flying down here actually on Friday. So we're going to rehearse with him for the first time this weekend. So there's a lot of things going on. I like it.
Yeah, I can tell you're excited about it, man, and
Yeah, I'm excited.
that's awesome. And I'm just geeked. You mentioned nerd stuff, man. I am probably the nerd of nerds when it comes to everything that's coming out of Norway, Sweden,
Yeah,
and
yeah. We. I mean, my new band is also. We tend to playing live as well. So
oh really?
yeah,
Are y'all gonna play any festivals this year or?
that's no, not this year, but probably next year.
Oh, I'll be
That's
there.
hopefully, and I can go along with it because I'm not going to do any vocals.
Oh, there you go.
So I can do what I was meant to do and just being back there and playing guitar.
Okay, I thought you were about to say getting back there playing drums again. I was like,
Ah, no, no, not drums. I'm playing guitar. Yes, yes,
is there
yeah.
is there ever a point in time where you get behind Fenris's drum kit in the studio or whenever y'all rehearsing?
I want to, but there's no time for it. I think I was back there, doing some drum sound check or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the last time I really played the drums was on my solo project some years ago. Then I played drums.
Yeah, you played everything for that.
Yes. So, but that's drums is a hassle because, and especially I've never recorded anything with what do you call it? It's a metronome.
Yeah.
So and when you are the drummer without metronome, you have to be more like a better drummer than me. But to that project, I was really trying to practice a lot of not increase the tempo too much. When I did something else on the drums, getting eager and it goes faster. So yeah, but guitar is nice. I
Yeah.
like guitars.
Oh yeah. So do
Yeah.
I. I mean, I was told that I'm a better drummer than I am guitar player, so I don't know if that means I'm a shitty guitar player.
Uh, don't let them bother you.
Oh no, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. Um, in fact, whenever I started out playing, the reason why I want to learn how to play guitars is to learn your riffs,
Oh
basically.
yeah,
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 because Hardship of the Scots, I love that
yeah,
track. Whenever that came out,
yeah,
I was like, man, that
yeah,
is one tough riff.
yeah.
And it reminded me so much of the 80s heavy metal.
Yes.
That track in particular reminded me of like Rat for some reason.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Rat is actually. I think I like the what's it called, that Cinderella album, the first Night Songs.
Yes.
Cinderella,
Yes.
yeah, that's a good album. But Rat is like, it's very different because I hear Out of the Cellar and Invasion of the Privacy, and the first thing I hear on this album is that they have a really, really, I mean, they have a better sound of the guitars than many others of their peers.
Oh,
I think,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get some? That's probably that's probably 15 years ago. There was some rumor on the internet that I was going to replace one of the guitarists in Rat, and I think I found that hilarious. It was blabbermouth, and everyone was like, "Yeah, Nocturno Culto is like." I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I like playing that style, so that would be great. But who the hell, puts out a rumor like that? It's insane.
Yeah, that's some insane shit. I
Yeah.
can't imagine you playing alongside those LA guys from Rat, man.
Oh, somebody has had to, like, let's put out a rumor that Ted from Darkthrone is, and everybody bites on it.
Yeah, yeah. Is there
Yeah.
any rumors that you've heard about as of late in your own country about you or Fenris?
No, no, not really. I was living in this small, really small community far out in the woods in 92, 93. And then I heard a fascinating rumor, because in that small community, it was like maybe 250 people. And I heard a rumor that I was coming to their community just to lure the youth into Satanism.
Wow.
And back then I was thinking, okay, if I was to lure anyone into Satanism, why start here? There's nobody here. that's, a, that's a place to start, Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Gotta start small, then but dream big.
yeah, dream big, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so no, there's not rumor. There's probably a lot of rumors out there. I'm living in a place that has, it's not many people here as well, but people are nice, and I think by now people have seen other people with long hair, being male and everything. So
Yeah.
so, but it's harder to blend in, I have to admit. But I'm not blending in with the population here, but then again, I don't blend in. It feels like I was 7 days in Japan in 2005,
Yeah, I remember
and that
seeing pictures of that.
Yeah, that was hard to blend in there as well. But Japan was awesome. I mean, the people there is awesome. I mean, they're just. I mean, from afar, it looks like a big Western city, but everything inside Tokyo, it's just not. Things doesn't work like that here in the West.
Right.
So everything is different. It was fascinating, and I liked it so much because people are very polite and everything, and not like they're like here, and at once, I mean, 3 or 4 days in on that trip, I was thinking, do I really want to go back to the dark ages in Europe? Like, people are, like gritty and sour all the time. And
Yeah.
I was having a blast yeah. But I had to go back, of course, because of kids and everything. So
Well, I'm just gonna put this out there. I know you don't like flying, but if there's any reason that would put you in South Louisiana, I got you. I
okay,
got you. I got you. As far as cooking, you don't have to worry about food.
yeah.
In fact, you need to ask Thomas about some of the spice blends that I've given him and his wife.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
because they were there.
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
cool.
Well, no. Yeah, they came over for the Oakland
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Death Fest, and they also came for Maryland Death Fest as well.
Okay. All right.
So, but I would every time I go to Oslo or Holden, I had some spice blends waiting for them,
Cool.
and so far they love it. In fact,
Tell Thomas. Thomas can give me some heads up if you are going to Holden again, because then I can join you guys.
I'm going to Holden. That's my first. Well, the first place I'm going is his house
Okay,
in
nice.
April.
In April, okay.
Yep. Yep.
I'll talk to Thomas about it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That would
that
be
would be
awesome.
great to kind of you know it would be great. I mean, I'm actually I'm Thomas and his wife is has been here at my house a couple of times, so we are now starting to understand that we have to meet again, soon. So I'll talk to Thomas because it would be great to meet you, and we can
Oh,
have a
100.
blast.
Same here too. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm all
that's
about it.
nice. Yeah, I like this, Mo.
I like this too, Ted.
Yeah,
I like it a lot, man. I mean,
yeah,
hey, I'm not even looking at the timer here on my end, but man, I really appreciate talking to you. I do. This is to say that this was one of the highlights of my life. It would be a complete understatement. Like I
thank
truly,
you, Mo.
truly
I
mean that.
mean, it's been a pleasure. I mean, if I felt somewhat near uncomfortable, we wouldn't talk so long. So that's it.
Appreciate that.
I like it. So yeah, great. I mean, it will be really. I mean, if everything goes the way I want now, I will see you in April.
No, it sounds great.
Yeah,
Look forward to it.
yeah.
I
Thanks
know.
for the chat. It was great.
Oh yeah.
It,
Thank you.
it's also very interesting to talk about. I have a lot of things on my mind all the time. So there's just not very often I can get people ask me questions about things about the band, and it's always nice to revisit the past a bit, even if it's just 2 years ago. And it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, well, and like I said in the email, my first email to you, man, like I'm no journalist. I don't work for any magazine. I've always
Ah, that's what I like you so much. I'm sure.
I'm just here to have just a relaxed conversation and get to know you,
Yeah,
and maybe you get to know me a little bit, and
absolutely.
and that's what it's all about. I don't,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I think that's yeah, I appreciate it, and it's been great. So hopefully we'll meet in April. I'll talk to Thomas.
That would be great.
Yeah, send him my regards if you
I
talk
absolutely
to him.
will. I
Yeah,
absolutely will.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes. See you around, Mo.
See you around, Ted. Hopefully, I
Yeah.
see you in April.
Yes.
Bye, my friend.
Bye bye. Let's trying to find the right button.